Well, another night is here.
Yep.
Joe Cioffi.
They're all melding together all of a sudden now.
I know. It's unusual that we get three back-to-back like this. It really is. Usually there's time in between, but we had the small one this morning, this one for tonight, and then the one for Sunday. So shall we get right to it?
Yes, we should. Joe Rao, FiOS 1 News, Lower Hudson Valley.
And Joe Cioffi, FiOS 1 News, Long Island and New Jersey. So what do you want to do first? We want to look at the new HRRR, the latest HRRR with the first event?
Yeah, well, right. Why not?
We'll look at that. Okay.
Check that out. Hi, Dennis. My friend Dennis
Cassia. Yes, I did see them. Hi, Dennis. All right, so let's go with the HRRR model for tonight, since it is front and center. And
for those who are on the uninitiated, this is a short-term model. It comes out each hour. And
as if we don't have enough models to look at, we have one that comes out every hour.
Someday, long after you and I have departed this orb, I'm sure that there's going to be a situation where there's going to be the universal weather computer or the weather guidance computer, and then the people who are looking at that one particular model say, you know, back in the early 21st century, they actually used to look at scans of models.
You probably get a fresh run every minute.
Yeah.
You think people are obsessed with their phones?
Exactly.
Okay. So here's the HRRR for tonight, and we're starting out at 9 o'clock. This is supposed to be what it thinks the radar looks like, and it seems like the HRRR wants to gel the radar fairly quickly in the next couple of hours. I've been talking about this kind of tenuous position with regards to Long Island because of the fact that literally a half a degree is going to make a difference between 2 or 3 or possibly even a bit more slushy inches, or perhaps more on the low end because of sleet. But you know, Joe, after this initial shot, I mean, it does look like the atmosphere does get colder as the night goes on, and that it goes to all snow as the low begins to pull away to the east.
And a very progressive system, and one where I don't think any one particular spot in the viewing area is going to have more than, let's say, 8 hours worth of precipitation. And again, probably most of that is going to be in the form of snow.
Looks like, at least on this run, the precip trend is a little higher, 4/10 of an inch of liquid up to where we are in Rybrook, if I had to make a guess, or just north of 287. And it looks like it gives a solid half an inch of liquid precip across Long Island. I have to tell you just really quick, I've mentioned this a couple of times, if there's one place tonight where there could be an upside surprise, I think Long Island is the place. This is a situation where Long Island sometimes outperforms, and given the tenuous nature of the temperatures, if they drop, as I said, as little as a half a degree in some of those temperatures aloft, there could be some amounts pushing up above say through 2 or 3 inches. It could push up a little higher than that.
Well, it'll be intriguing to see if that be the case. That more often than not, over the years, Joe, you and I have been talking about the fact that I live up in a place, the northern hinterland, so to speak, where traditionally we get a lot more snow than Long Island or coastal localities, but you have seemed to be beating the pants off of me snow-wise over the last 10 or 15 years.
Look at the streak. Let's forget the numbers for a moment, but look where the purple streak is that the HRRR model is generating across a portion of eastern Pennsylvania through northern New Jersey, and then you get that darker purple over Long Island. So, and it also could be a situation where it's North Shore versus South Shore. So if you're north of the LIE, you might be that half a degree colder, and that could make a difference. Look, we're going to know tomorrow morning when you wake up what's out there. So we'll take it from there. And of course, we've been emphasizing the fact that the important factor about this particular storm is the fact that it is going to impact the follow-up system, which I think we should go take a look at now, since we're a little short on time tonight. So the stronger this lead storm gets, the better chance that the system coming up on Sunday is going to be flatter and further south, because with the storm out there, keeps the ridge from coming up.
Right. And we were noticing, or at least initially a little while ago, that this run of the NAM, the North American model, was about 2 or 3 millibars stronger and about 60 miles further to the south than the run that we
Right,
had
with the
at
lead
12
with the lead storm,
With the lead storm.
which would
Right.
mean a stronger storm out there again should translate into the follow-up system for Sunday to try to follow in its heels and go more east than north.
Right.
So, and that of course means a colder solution overall. So here we are at Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock, a low in northeastern Alabama, snow into southern Pennsylvania and into southern New Jersey, and by 4 in the afternoon, it looks like snow has now moved into all of northern New Jersey, about to get into the Hudson Valley, and about halfway across Long Island. The low is right in the southwestern corner of North Carolina.
It's way, way back there, isn't
All right,
it?
so let's see. Next one is at 7 o'clock. Got some dark blue snow there in central New Jersey up to Long Island by 7 o'clock.
Right.
The low is in central North Carolina. It's almost moved straight east. We're seeing this for the first time, by the way, so we're not trying to create drama here,
Right.
even though we are. Those isobars are pointing. They're not pointing up toward Pennsylvania
Right.
or toward New Jersey. They're pointing out.
Right.
So let's see where this goes now at 10 o'clock Sunday evening. Oh, Joe, that's...
Was that Raleigh?
Well, yeah, and the rain snow line is just north of 195 and just south of the south shore of Long Island. Long Island, northern half of New Jersey, southeastern New York, and much of southwestern Connecticut in that dark blue,
Right.
heavier snow.
But notice it's moving, it's propagating very quickly.
Right.
Where will the back edge be at 1 a.m., 3 hours later?
Well, let's hit the button.
Look at that. Boom. It's not over, but it...
But also look at the fact of where the low is and the way the model has the precip field structured. There's not much of a change to rain going on here. Maybe toward the end. Right at the end, it changes to rain on Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
That low goes... Look at the track of the low on this run, too. It takes it almost east-northeast, kind of following in the heels of this one. You
Right.
have to wonder whether this is the beginning of for the NAB to play catch-up
Right.
to the idea that these systems want to go more east. They don't want to move up northeast or north.
Following along with the GFS. The GFS has been saying this suppress, and the ICON model, too. And it'll also be interesting to see later tonight what the European model does.
All right, so we should have a foos here. So I'll pull it up on this screen.
Okay.
And we can come back to...
It looks like the main burst of activity takes place at the sometime. Well, that would be between 48 and 54 hours. I think we'd probably see the highest vertical motions.
All right, let's get that foos going here. No, didn't want to do that. Oh,
isn't it lovely? You can call the foos up at will. Back when we were starting in this many years ago, we'd sit by. Circuit C was the teletype that had the foos data come out. Now we could just call it up at will.
right, and you only had one copy.
Look at that. One big pop at 48 hours, Joe. Plus 10. Plus 10.1.
Mm-hmm. Look at LaGuardia's temperature field here. 9/10 of an inch of liquid. 0, -3, -2. And then at 54 hours with that 7400ths and a +4 vertical motion, 0, 0, and 0. It doesn't get that warm. And there's plenty of time here to see this thing trend colder. A lot of times in these instances, you see, the model getting a little colder with every run.
And look what happens after 54 hours. It almost shuts off
It's
completely.
gone.
It's
Yeah,
gone.
It's gone.
It's
So
gone.
60 hours is Monday morning. So you're right. After about 1 or 2 a.m., it's done. And 9/10 of an inch of liquid. Now for tonight, it gives, for LaGuardia,
0.40.
right, 3/10 between now and 1 in the morning, then another 4/10 after that. But again, look at these temperatures: -1, -1, -1, 0, 0, and 0. I mean, it's just absolutely just a totally borderline atmosphere. You can't really get more borderline than that.
Does the T1 ever get above 3? Oh, of course it does. Tomorrow.
Yeah,
Tomorrow evening
+1.
by +3.
And +3. So it goes to 40 tomorrow.
Right.
During the day. So whatever falls tomorrow, a lot of it's going to disappear. And by the way, Boston gets here at 43.68 at 1.1 inches with the second one, and 4/10 with this first one. And for Boston, this is also important because if we're going to take a low like the European was showing, it would change to rain to Boston. But with this track that is more to the east, the temperature profiles in Boston also are pretty cold.
Right.
0, -1, -5, 0, -2, -2. That's all snow for them. So very interesting NAM model run here. I think it's been my contention that we really have to wait till late tomorrow afternoon to get a really good idea that this is where we're going.
Right.
But it seems to be that the trend, at least the NAM is moving toward the idea that this low is going to be a little flatter and move more to the east than to the north, which will lead to a colder and snowier solution.
And also, it's moving very rapidly as well. So this, I've been hearing a lot of forecasts, other forecasters saying, well, it'll be over with sometime during the early part of the day on Monday. Guess what, folks? It may be over with soon after 1 or 2 in the morning on Monday morning.
Let me keep going. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, the speed. Speed is going to be a key factor in this as well. And again, if it's going to be a little bit more suppressed, we may not see quite as much in the way of moisture falling over the region. Hey, for the Hudson Valley, we've been talking about, mentioning about the fact that places like Orange County or Dutchess County or whatever may get a foot or more. I got to tell you something, Joe. If it's suppressed,
it's going to be less.
It's going to be less.
It's going to be less.
Yeah.
Okay, now. I'm just going to put this up. I did this. Usually I don't do a first call snow forecast for an event until we're inside 72 hours, which we were today. But I decided yesterday, early in the day, to take a shot. Now this is what I went for. We'll see if it winds up being right, but this was my early call, okay, for this system.
Was this what you were putting on Patreon last night, or?
I actually put this up yesterday, earlier in the day. Yes, I did not put it up publicly until today.
Right.
But I put it up on my Patreon weather platform, so my subscribers could get it, and also my Facebook supporters, my fan supporters on Facebook, got to see this early as well.
No,
so
I like this, Joe. I think, and a lot of that 3 to 6 inch amount, or up to 6 inch total, maybe it might vary by an inch or two, but all of that is going to happen probably during the first part of the night on Sunday night, and then after midnight, it's all going to wind on down very quickly.
So it's going to be, at least from what we see right now. So this was my early call. Those of you who are who follow my stuff as I post it on a regular basis know that I usually don't change my maps more than once, and sometimes I don't change them at all from the early call. So far that map is actually looking, right now at this point, that map is looking pretty good.
It's looking pretty good. It'll be interesting to see again tonight what the GFS comes out with, and it sees if it's even more suppressed than. But even more interesting will be what happens with the European, which has been the one thing about this particular setup is usually when you're this close to an event, and the event now is about 48 hours away, you usually see one model very consistent and the other models fall into line and say, okay, it looks like, let's say the GFS says, all right, the European looks like it's the better model, and it starts trending in that direction. But up until now, the GFS and the European have been very consistent, almost stubborn in what they're saying. Although you pointed out, Joe, a little while ago that the European very subtly was showing
subtle today.
Was showing signs of moving toward the GFS.
Well, for the first time over the last number of days with this, it actually gave New York City 0.2 of an inch of snow,
right,
which is laughable. But the point is that it suddenly did that, and in fact, for the first time in areas just north and west of New York City, across northern New Jersey, and areas in the Hudson Valley, it started to show 3 to 6 bands of 3 to 6 and 6 to 9. So very subtly, it's been moving. Real quick, while we've got a couple of minutes, let me just take a look really fast if the Icon model, which has been arguing this suppressive idea. And by the way, after the storm is gone, it's just cold and dry all next week. So let's see if the new icon has started. And it has started, and it's just started, so we don't have any maps at all.
Right.
But that is the first of the model of when the new models start. The NAM is first, then the icon, and then the GFS, then the Canadian, and last is the European.
May I ask a question?
Oh, by all means, please do.
Did you look at all at the parallel GFS, or did you just
no? Because that model's garbage. I refuse to look at it. It's
right.
not les GFS de parallel is not going to be the operational. They put a stop to it because, and rightfully so. A lot of us were complaining very loudly. I didn't say anything, I didn't talk to anybody that would have any influence on decisions.
Well, maybe they watch.
Well, it could be. Well,
the grapevine.
We all know that there are certain TV people that watch very closely. And speaking of which, we got to go because we got to do TV. So I will be here at Fios One News tomorrow morning with Andrew Pinheiro. So we're going to wrap up this first weather event tomorrow morning, and we will have coverage all weekend with the developing situation for Sunday. No guarantees that what the NAM showed tonight is gospel. Again, we have to wait for this storm tonight to see what it does,
right.
And how strong does it get, because the stronger it gets when it's offshore, the better chance that the system coming east is going to pass by to the south and east.
Further to the south and east.
All right.
So we'll see.
So what do you got at the top of the hour?
I've got Fios One News Lower Hudson Valley, and you, of course, have Fios One News New Jersey.
And Long Island.
And Long Island.
All right, folks, have a great weekend.
Safe weekend.
Safe weekend. I'll be live streaming and doing all sorts of things, so enjoy. And my Patreon page, just really fast, for those of you who are interested in a really expanded coverage, if you're weather geeky, take a look at my Patreon platform, and there are links all over the place, and I put them up from time to time every day. All right, have a great night, everybody.